What's going on, my dollar bills? D-Money here, and welcome back to Webuary. Now, some of you may remember this a while back, but I uploaded a video where I was reviewing these web shooters that I got from Etsy, and, well, they're good for this type of outfit where I just have them over a hoodie, and you see how they're okay, they're not really moving around, but that's because I have so much extra fabric sticking out on me. But when I put it on my wrist, and this is pretty much what it'd be for when I'm wearing a suit, I have so much room. They're almost like handcuffs, and they drop down so far. So today we're going to be fixing these up so that way they're a lot better. Cosplay compatible. That's probably what I should have said instead of better. Alright everyone, big jump right now. So I have been working basically non-stop on these web shooters. And I gotta say, after a while of buzzing around with the Dremel and some glue and some elastic, I have almost the final product. They fit perfectly now, they're snug. I really like the way they feel. They're very comfortable, a lot better than what they were before. See how they're staying still now. So they're not sliding around. The only bad thing about it is that there are some cuts in it. It makes it look a little blocky, bulky, but that's what I feel like these type of web shooters would be, since this is like the first product of what Peter would make. And of course they're not going to be like super smooth and slick. This could be like his second version, or his Mark II web shooters, even though these web shooters are designed after the ones that Tony Stark made and Miles Morales ends up having. But yeah, I'm going to take it off. I originally was going to have it be like a cuff where it just open up like that and you go in, sort of like how my Homecoming web shooters are like. But then I thought, what if I instead just had it like open up like that and I slip my arm through? So there is one piece of elastic going from, sorry about those angles, from underneath the center here all the way around to about here. And it's just a normal black piece of elastic band. And then I also glued some foam in there to add a bit more comfort, and also to make sure I don't scratch up my arm or really put any damage on my suits. And also the fabric does add a little bit of like filler in between my arm and the web shooter, so that way it decreases slippage. And so yeah, it really feels like a bit more weird when it's not on my wrist, but that's completely fine. So putting it on, it's also a bit weird because the elastic, it's not all one piece, so it's moving this back part sort of up with my arm, so I have to try and pull it back, and it does feel a little weird, but that's something I could work on more in the future. But for now, I'm satisfied with it. So there's only one problem with this right now, and that's the trigger. So this is a solid piece. I can bring it down a bit, but I can't bring my arm or my hand forward. So I am going to have to replace these. So, alright everyone. I'm back with the final product now. And I gotta say, I honestly didn't test it, really. So you're going to be able to see firsthand what it looks like. So, where I left off last time, I said I was going to be fixing the triggers. I cut them off with the Dremel. So, they're gone. So I decided to replace them with EVA foam. So all the EVA foam that I currently have is pretty thin. So I decided to cut the trigger out and double layer it so that way it's thicker. But in between the two layers, I decided to get these little ties that you would find at the store. I just got like 6 of them. 2 extras just in case if I ended up ruining the first 2. But yeah, I ended up spray painting the EVA foam, and here's what it looks like. And it's pretty good. It's all flat. But the reason why I went with these is because of their flexibility. So now I could go like that. It'll keep the shape, sorta. And yeah, I glued it on the bottom. I had to really like make sure I didn't hit this part with the Dremel because this part is metal. So I also got a fine tip pen and colored in the trigger because it did have it on here, and I noticed in the comics that it's not always in the same spot, so I changed that up. So it could go back, I can move forward. Like it's a big improvement. The last minute change that I made to this is I got a blue highlighter and I just went around it. It's pretty hard to see on the camera right now. It's a pretty awkward angle. But I fondly remember in the comics seeing that that circle had a little bit of a blue ring when it was first introduced, and I thought, you know, Tony Stark did make this, and most of his power sources have like a little blue ring, sort of to look like his arc reactors, and I thought, you know, why not incorporate it into this? I could see it pretty well on here. I didn't want it to be too noticeable, and just looking on the screen on the camera, sometimes it's different for me when I see it on the computer, but it didn't show up too much on here, but maybe it did after post. But it's perfect for me, and yeah, this is a big improvement on what I started out with. Really like it. I think I nailed this pretty much. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this, click that like button. Rate, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Support me on Patreon to get some behind the scenes of Webuary and a bunch of other stuff for my channel. And I just gotta say, keep on whipping. Bye!